You see, when you have no games to play as a pony, you tend to do and say some irrational things. Right now, the Nintendo Switch is the talk of the town. Right now, the Xbox Developers Direct is the talk of the town. And all ponies have to talk about is Death Stranding and Ghosts of Yote, but these guys are not talking about it. You know why? Because they are not even interested in these games. They want to talk about Xbox and Nintendo because, you know what, this is what is hot right now. These guys are starving for games, starving for content. That is why we are seeing them behaving like this horse in the video. Now, a perfect example of this is, of course, Reforged Gaming, who would have said multiple times that he's not a pony, he's not, one of those Sony fanatics. But every time he gets chance to, he defends Sony like if Sony is a damsel in distress.
Concord, by the way, are you guys going to cling to Concord for forever? I said it was a bad idea, a risk, said it was going to flop, had no interest in it, played it for 15 minutes and said it was going to go nowhere, and it didn't go anywhere. Concord and Foam Stars are bigger bombs than Redfall. Foam Stars is not first party. Concord's been conceded. We've all conceded that that game was a disaster, and who cares? You. Like, games come out and bomb. If you really want to measure the cadence and quality, you're going to cling to one game?
Yeah. I ask you one thing. Do you remember me? I miss you. Yeah.
You're going to cling to one game? What's interesting is you're going to use Concord as an example of, like, PlayStation failed, Concord's not playable, Redfall's still playable. So, okay, you're okay with getting a game 30 FPS at launch, buggy, broken, not ready, but you're like, it's still playable. You and I are incredibly different. You have standards that I think are in the toilet. I have standards that are like, here, it needs to ship at quality. And you're like, no, I'm fine getting garbage.
Wow, Jimmy Neutron here is so mad because a member of his chat called him out about Concord. I mean, listening to Jimmy is like listening to two Chinese restaurants argue.
How can I help you? Hello? Yeah, how can I help you? Is this Chinese restaurant? Yeah, how can I help you? Yeah. What? Yeah. What can I order? How can I help you? What the mean? This Chinese restaurant, how can I help you, baby? You want to order or not? What you mean? What's up? This Chinese restaurant, I don't call you. You call me. No, I don't call you. No, I don't call you.
Chicken in China, the Chinese chicken. Have a drumstick and your brain start clicking. Clicking chicken. Jimmy, shut up. Today, however, we are going to talk about the secret game. It appears that this could possibly be the game that is going to be revealed at the Developers Direct, Xbox Developers Direct. In addition to that, we would see how the PlayStation community just killed another studio. Yes, the Ponies would have killed another studio. Look at that. So you know what? Let's get it.
This is a sickness!
Let's get it. Come on, guys. You must admit that that was a fire intro. So before we continue the video, guys, please consider hitting the like and the subscribe button. If this type of content interests you, of course, we give you that beautiful Xbox news and content. And we specialize in the Sony Pony salt. Our salt is new, our salt is fresh, and it comes from the Himalayan mountains. So hit that subscribe button today to make sure your food is well seasoned. Now let's get back to the video. First up, let's talk about Call of Duty. You see, someone wrote an article saying that Call of Duty is in trouble. It lost 80% of its players and so forth. But let me just remind that person, whoever wrote that article, that we live in reality, and the reality is this: Call of Duty is breaking records on PlayStation, Xbox and PC. As you could see consistently, they are ranking in the top 5 when it comes to Call of Duty. So I don't know what kind of Johnny Walker you are smoking, but it's very clear that you are delusional to think that Call of Duty is dying. Wow. Crazy individuals out here. Next up, let's now talk about the Xbox Developer Direct. We know that Xbox killed the second half of 2024, giving us games like Stalker 2 and Indiana Jones, just to name a few. Those games were really, really well done. And we know that coming into 2025, they have already started strong. We know that Avowed is coming very soon, and there is a slew of Game Pass games currently for anyone to enjoy. However, there is a developer direct that was announced recently, and the heart of that direct is games. Yes, a lot of games would be shown at that direct. However, there is a secret game that the industry and even Microsoft is alluding to, and everyone is wondering, what is this secret game? Let's listen to this article and let's see if it tells us what some persons are speculating is this secret game.
Microsoft to reveal new entry in legendary Japanese franchise next week, report. The Xbox Developer Direct airs on January 23rd. By George Young on January 13, 2025 at 11:21 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Microsoft is reportedly announcing a new entry in a legendary Japanese IP during its Xbox Developer Direct on January 23rd. Along with this new game, Microsoft will also show off Doom, The Dark Ages, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, and South of Midnight. According to Windows Central, this IP has decades of history and should make a lot of fans happy. The phrasing is rather vague, so fans have been speculating what the game could be. Ninja Gaiden is one of the first franchises to come to mind. While it's not exclusive to Xbox platforms, entries like Ninja Gaiden Black and Ninja Gaiden 2 were. However, the Game Kitchen and Koei Tecmo recently revealed the 2D side-scrolling Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, so a new fully fledged 3D entry may not be likely. Another possibility could be Resident Evil 9, as Capcom already confirmed that a new entry is in the works with Resident Evil 7's director. A new Tales games could be announced, as the franchise enters its 30th anniversary this year. A Persona 6 announcement could be possible too, as Atlus has been relative quietly about its 2025 plans after having an impressive 2024 release slate with Persona 3 Reload, Unicorn Overlord, and Metaphor, Refantazio. In other Japanese Xbox news, Final Fantasy VII Remake is reportedly set to release on Xbox sometime this year.
So there you have it. What do you think is the game that Microsoft is holding close to their chest? I know there were a number of different games that were cited in that article, but I solely believe it is Ninja Gaiden. It does fit the wording of Jess Corden, something new. A new entry in the franchise, something that has history. I know that Ninja Gaiden is a very hard game. Long before it had Souls-like games, the Ninja Gaiden's type of game was some of the hardest games I've ever played. But let me hear what you think is the game that Microsoft will unveil and announce at the Direct. Let me know in the comment sections below. And finally, let's talk about another studio that got closed down. And this studio supported PlayStation 5 when it just came out. You know, let's say that the PlayStation community always boasts that they buy games. They said, according to Reforge, that Microsoft would have conditioned Xbox players not to buy games. But when we look at the evidence of these so-called game buyers, we saw that no one supported Forspoken. Forspoken tanked, and guess what? The studio that was making Forspoken closed down. Wow! In addition to that, we know the debacle that was Concord. Concord was a game that could have been saved by the PlayStation community if they would have bought it, but it's very clear that they viewed Concord like a steaming load of trash. That's not my opinion, that's just what the facts and the evidence is showing. So, which studio did the PlayStation 5 basically close down for not supporting or not purchasing the games? Well, let's listen to this article here.
Dev behind PS5 launch exclusive Godfall, disbanded, report. Counterplay Games, the studio behind PS5 launch exclusive Godfall, appears to have been disbanded. This report comes from an employee at Jackalyptic Games, who revealed in a note on LinkedIn that his team was working on a project with Counterplay Games before it was gutted. Counterplay's Godfall was the first game to be confirmed as PS5 console exclusive. The LinkedIn note in question, which PlayStation Lifestyle has viewed and verified, does not specify whether the studio was shut down completely or not. A screenshot is attached below. We've chosen not to reveal the identity of the Jackalyptic employee to avoid giving them unwanted attention.
So this is what the note reads. Over the past 6 months or so, our project at Jackalyptic has been supercharged by the world-class devs at Counterplay Games. It's impossible to overstate their impact. From the very first day they put their shoulders to the wheels like it was their baby. Unfortunately, we were unable to continue our partnership into the new year and CPG was disbanded. I want to share the profiles of a few folks I worked with closely, strongly recommend and hope to work with them again as soon as possible.
The note goes on to include LinkedIn profiles of a number of former Counterplay devs. Having gone through a few of them, we get the impression that this disbanding happened sometime towards the end of 2024. Counterplay's only major release was Godfall, which was published by Gearbox. It was the first game confirmed for PS5 as a launch console exclusive simultaneously released on PC. It was later ported to the PS4, followed by an Xbox launch. Unfortunately, Godfall failed to garner an audience and received average reviews, including one from us at PSLS. Counterplay went on to release free-to-play collectible card game Duelist on PC in 2016.
And there you have it. Counterplay Games backed on the wrong horse community. And because they did that, they failed with Godfall. They tried to port it over to PC and Xbox to see if they could have, garner some sales, but they didn't work. It was too late. It already had the stain of the PlayStation community on it, and because of that, this game failed. So how many studios is that, guys, that would have closed down because of the lack of sales from the PlayStation community? I mean, this would have been fine if the PlayStation community didn't used to boast of them buying games. It would have been fine if they didn't used to boast of the importance of having games exclusive. But the both narratives, PlayStation community buying games and the importance of exclusive games, is really showing up here. Because think about it, Forspoken was exclusive, dead. Foam Stars was exclusive to the PlayStation, dead. And now Godfall, a PlayStation launch game, that too dead together with the studio being disbanded. So it's very clear. The argument for having these exclusive games are getting thinner and thinner by the day. In addition to that, the PlayStation community has long exposed themselves as not buying these exclusive games in droves like how they buy multiplayer games. So could somebody explain that to me? So right now, making a deal with PlayStation as an exclusive platform to have your game is practically a death sentence, and that's not an understatement. A lot of studios died because of having their game exclusive to the PlayStation. But let me hear what you think. Let me hear what you think. Do you think this is just an anomaly? Do you think that, it happens? PlayStation is getting stronger by the day when it comes to the exclusives. Let me know in the comment sections below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.